Hello children, in the last video we have learnt about the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, and we learnt about what is plasma membrane, what is its nature and its functions. We have also learnt that the plant cell, apart from the cell membrane, it has one more layer over the plasma membrane. That layer itself is called as cell wall. Cell wall is found only in the plant cell and it is absent in the animal cell. Let us learn the next part of the cell, that is nucleus. The important part of the cell, the nucleus. When we look at this onion peel, we will see each cell has a dark spot in it. Every cell, every block has a dark spot, and this dark spot is nothing but the nucleus. So, nucleus is an important part of the cell. Let us know in detail its structure and functions. Each nucleus has three important parts in it. Those are, the first one is the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane. The nuclear envelope is also called as nuclear membrane. It has a double layered covering. The nuclear membrane is a outermost covering of the nucleus. As the cell membrane to the cell, the nuclear membrane or the nuclear envelope is the outermost layer of the nucleus. It's a double layered structure or membrane. And the second most important part of the nucleus is the dark spot inside the nucleus is nothing but the nucleolus. A dark spot inside the nucleus is nothing but the nucleolus, important part of the nucleus. And the third important part of the nucleus is the thread-like structures. The thread-like structures, it's nothing but the chromatin material. It is called as the chromatin material. So these are the three important parts of the nucleus. So each cell has nucleus, whether it is a plant cell or animal cell. Each cell has a nucleus, and each nucleus has three important parts. Those are nothing but the nuclear membrane or the nuclear envelope is shown here. It's a double layered membrane and it is same as the plasma membrane to the cell. The second important part of the nucleus is nucleolus, a dark spot inside the nucleus, and the third part of the nucleus is the thread-like structures known as the chromatin material. So these are the three important parts of the nucleus. Let us know what are the important functions of the nuclear membrane, the nucleolus and the chromatin material in detail. As you are seeing here, the nuclear membrane is porous. Its nature is porous. Porous means it has minute holes on its surface. So these pores, it allows the materials to move inside and outside the nucleus. So the nuclear membrane is also semi-permeable membrane. What is its nature? Its nature is semi-permeable, means it allows certain things to move inside and outside the nucleus of the cell. So do you remember this nature we find in the cellular membrane also, or the plasma membrane. The plasma membrane is also flexible and semi-permeable membrane. So here the same function is applicable to the nuclear membrane also. Nuclear membrane is flexible and it has pores on it. It is porous in nature and it is semi-permeable. So it allows the movement of materials inside and outside the nucleus. This is one of the important function of the nuclear membrane. It is the outermost layer of the nucleus and it is porous. As it is porous, it allows the materials to move inside and outside the nucleus. So it is semi-permeable membrane. It is also called as semi-permeable membrane. This is the important function of the nuclear membrane. Nucleolus is the control center of the nucleus, and this nucleolus has a prominent role during the cell division. It controls the functions during the cell division. This is the important function of nucleolus. Now let's learn the important function of the thread-like structures called as chromatin material. The nucleus has the thread-like structures, undivided mass of thread. This is called as the chromatin material. This chromatin material during the cell division will arrange into thread-like structures called as chromosomes. During the cell division, this chromatin matter, the undivided mass of this chromatin matter will change into thread-like structures called as chromosomes. And these chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. It is composed of DNA and protein. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acids, acid molecules, DNA molecules, deoxyribonucleic acid molecules, and proteins. Chromosomes are composed of DNA molecules and protein. Each DNA molecule contains the information necessary for constructing and organizing cells. Constructing and organizing cells means it contains the information which is necessary for the formation of the cells. So, each functional segment of the DNA, each functional segments of the DNA are nothing but genes. So, very important term, genes. What are genes? Genes are the functional segments of the DNA. And these genes carry the inheritance features from the parents to the offspring. So the DNA is going to decide the inheritance features, and these are carried by the genes from parents to the offspring. So DNA molecules, they contain the information necessary for construction and organizing the cells. They decide the parental characters or the inheritance features, and these inheritance features are carried from parents to the offspring with the help of these functional segments called as genes. And as I told you, DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acids. Very important term from the point of exam. DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acids. And each chromosome consists of the DNA molecule and the protein. So DNA molecules decides the construction and organizing of the cells, and genes are the functional segments of DNA and these are the carriers of the genetic traits from parents to the offspring. So this is the important function of the chromatin material, which is found in some organisms like bacteria. The nuclear region of the cell may be poorly defined due to the absence of nuclear membrane. Means, in some very primitive organisms like bacteria, the nuclear region of the cell is very poorly defined. Defined means developed. So, why it is called as poorly developed nuclear region? Poorly developed nuclear region. It is because here we find the absence of nuclear membrane in the nucleus. So we have studied that each nucleus is bounded by the nuclear membrane, double membrane, nuclear membrane. But in some organisms like bacteria, we don't find such nuclear membrane in the nucleus. So such a nucleus is called as poorly defined nucleus. And such a undefined nuclear region containing only nucleic acids. Nucleic acids means DNA, nucleic acids. No nuclear membrane is found, but we find the nucleic acids in the nuclear region. And such nucleus which lacks the nuclear membrane but has nucleic acids, such nuclear region is called as nucleoid. Very important term from the point of exam, nucleoid. So what is nucleoid? It's a nuclear region lacking the nuclear membrane but has the nucleic acid. So such organisms whose cells lack a nuclear membrane are called as prokaryotes. But what is that cell known as? That type of cell is known as prokaryotic cell. What is prokaryotic cell? A cell which lacks or which has undefined nuclear region with no nuclear membrane or absence of nuclear membrane but has only the nucleic acids. Such type of cells are called as prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic. Pro means primitive. Karyote or karyon means nucleus. The cells having primitive type of nucleus. Such cell are called as prokaryotic cell. A cell which has very primitive type of nucleus. What is primitive nucleus? A nucleus without the nuclear membrane but has only the nucleic acids. Such cell is called as prokaryotic cell, and the organisms which possess such cells are called as prokaryotes. Example is bacteria is a prokaryotic organism. It's a prokaryote. It's an example for prokaryote. And prokaryotic cells also lack the organelles. We will study in the later part what are these organelles. Such organelles are also absent in the prokaryotic cell. On the other hand, the organisms with cells having a nuclear membrane are called eukaryotes. Eukaryotes means there is a well-defined nucleus is found in cells. What is well-defined nucleus? A nucleus with the nuclear membrane as well as with the nucleic acids. Well-defined nuclear membrane as well as nucleic acids. If a cell has such characters, then that is called as the eukaryotic cell. Eu means true. Eu refers to true. Karyon refers to nucleus. A true nucleus is found in the cells. Such a cell is called as eukaryotic cell, and the organisms which possess eukaryotic cell are nothing but eukaryotes. We are the example for the eukaryotes. our cells are eukaryotic cell because they possess well-defined nucleus. U refers to true. U refers to U means true. Karyon refers to nucleus. So prokaryotic cell which has well-defined nucleus with the nuclear membrane and the nucleic acids, and the organisms which possess the eukaryotic cell are called as eukaryotes, and eukaryotes also possess well-defined cell organelles. As I told you, organelles will study later part. So eukaryotes also have well-defined cell organelles. This is the major difference between the prokaryote and the eukaryote. It's very important term for the from the point of examination. The differences between the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes, or prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell, you must remember. Very important terms. This is the example of prokaryotic cell, that is the cell bacterium, and in this bacterium we can see the nucleoid, undefined nucleus. Undefined nucleus. The nucleus without nuclear membrane as well as membrane bound organelles are not found here. So such type of cell is a prokaryotic cell, and such type of nucleus is called as nucleoid. Means the nucleus without the nuclear membrane. This is nucleoid. And this diagram is also very important from the point of exams. You need to practice well.